Hi students, welcome to CYBR203, Introduction to Systems and Security. And I just want to give you a little overview of the modern computing environments that we'll be looking at, and also the course structure for this class. And so I am doing this virtually because I got stuck in Boston and was unable to be there in class, but I will be there in class on Thursday. But I just wanted to let you to go over some things. All right, let's do it. So basically for this course, we are looking at the intersection of modern computing environments and security. Since this is a cybersecurity class, we're going to look at the different components of hardware, which operating systems, cloud computing, and also virtualization. And we're also going to look at the different endpoint protection and the system architectures where these systems need to be protected against cyber attacks. And also we'll be looking at theoretical concepts as well as hands-on practical experience. So yeah, so the modern day computing environments, we call this the stack. So we have the hardware, right? So within the hardware, you've got your CPUs, your memory, the storage, the networking, and any peripherals that are attached. And then, of course, we have the operating system, and this is what coordinates the hardware, the application, and the users. And this is, operating systems like Mac, Linux, or Windows. Those are all operating systems that you know. And then we're also going to look at virtualization, which is simply running multiple systems on shared hardware. And then, of course, you've heard of cloud computing. I believe it came on the scene more than a decade ago, but now you know things like AWS has their cloud service, Azure from Microsoft, and of course Google Cloud. So these are on-demand computing resources and platforms that are used. And of course, we need to look at endpoints, which are the laptops, the desktops, and the mobile devices and the servers. And these are these are some of the things that we have to keep secure against attack. So why does security matter in our modern environments? Well, more so than ever, as we get more complex, we need to protect. So every layer, we have the hardware, the OS, the apps, the cloud, the endpoints. All of these introduce new risks, right? So very common entry points are misconfigurations of your systems or having weak policies. And this exposes data breaches and ransomware, which exploit basic security gaps. And that's what we want to look at. So as cybersecurity professionals, we need to understand systems before we can secure them. And that's what this class is going to help you do. So we have a bunch of learning objectives. Again, we're going to look at the different hardware components and their functions. We're going to understand the basic security implications in our modern computing settings. We're also going to look at the roles and the functions of operating systems as it pertains to hardware and software, and then also identify and address basic security issues in operating systems. More course objectives. Also, we want to develop, in this class, you will develop an understanding of cloud infrastructure components, deployment modes, and security implications surrounding that. Also, we'll be applying fundamental security design principles to the operating systems and the cloud computing environments. And also, you'll be able to describe and differentiate various cloud service models and the security trade-offs that they have within them. More practical skills that you're going to be learning, you're going to be able to set up and manage your user accounts with the appropriate security measures. You will be able to implement and configure authentication and audit policies. You will learn how to perform system backups and restorations, install updates, install patches. You'll be reviewing and interpreting security logs for system health and security. And then also you'll be harden operating systems for different applications, and securely installing operating system components and services. So this class is also very practical, and you will get a lot of hands-on experience with that, and also some certifications, which I'll go over later as we get closer. So the key structures, course structure and key topics, we have the foundations again, operating systems, user account management, system management, security logging, cloud computing models, and then the virtualization endpoint fundamentals. So those are all the things that the main topics that we're going to be covering throughout the semester. Here's the breakdown. So yeah, it's based on A through E is your grades. So participation is 10%. So this is an in-class, in-person class. So, you know, you need to come to class. Your grade will suffer if you don't come to class. So you want to participate in the class for activities and that sort of thing, and just being in class. So I promise I will make it a very engaging and hopefully fun class, but an environment that will want you to come to class. Let's say that. You will have 11 quizzes throughout the semester, and there will be 20% of your grade. And the quizzes are just to reinforce what you've been learning in the readings. And yes, your textbook is very important for this class. Also, you have 11 assignments and then 2 projects. So your assignments will be for each of the modules. This is an accelerated class, so you're going to have a lot of work squeezed into 8 weeks, and that's just the way it's going to be. So plan to spend a lot of time on this class because you're going to have quizzes and assignments. It's going to be double than a normal semester where you would have it spread out over a normal 14 weeks. And then 70% will be this, and also you'll have 30%, 35% will be your assignments, and then the other 35% will be your 2 projects, which I will go over later. Yeah, so your quizzes are just going to reinforce the concepts from the readings and the lectures. Again, your book is very important that you get this textbook and that you read it. Your assignments will be hands-on practice, practicing tools and configurations. And then you'll have 2 projects which will integrate your skills to secure systems or cloud environments. We'll talk about that later. And then participation again, contributing to classes, in-class exercises, discussions, and then labs that we have in class. So your required textbook is Greg Tom's Show, and it's the Guide to Operating Systems, and you can get that through Cengage. You can rent the book. There's 2 versions. You can get the hard copy, but you still that's a rental, I think. But if you get the e-copy, it's cheaper, and you just rent it for I think it's the semester. And so the syllabus has all the readings, but I will post on Brightspace every week in the modules what readings are due. And as we go along, as things happen, I will, post additional readings as we go along as well. That will be links, and you won't have to buy them, but the textbook is the only thing you have to buy. So how are we going to work here? So basically, we're in class, we'll have some short lectures just introducing the concepts and the frameworks, and then we'll have some hands-on labs and exercises in class to practice the skills. And then the quizzes or assignments are just going to be there to reinforce the things that you've learned. And then finally, your projects will apply all of everything that you've learned throughout the semester. And that will be applying theory to realistic system level scenarios, so real world stuff. And yeah, I emphasize critical thinking about real world system security challenges in this class because that's what cyber security professionals do. So what will you need to bring? So bring your curiosity, right? About how systems actually work under the hood, we're gonna just peel back those layers and see how everything works. because we need to in order to know how to make these systems secure, right? So we need to know the architecture, what's behind the hood, your willingness to experiment, configure, and troubleshoot systems. So, you know, just keep an open mind, and, you know, things might always not work. Same with programming, you know, your code might not run. You might have to troubleshoot it more often than not, but you know, that's what it's all about. So you need to be willing to be able to do this. And then also paying attention to detail. This is very important when dealing with cybersecurity and making systems secure. You really need to pay attention to detail when you're applying these security controls and policies. And then make sure you keep up with the readings, the labs, and all of the deadlines. Okay, so typically your readings will be for the week, so you want to do the readings before the beginning of the week, and then you want to, so since we're doubling up here, you're going to have a lot of reading each week, double the reading than normal, and then also you will have assignments, double the assignments too, and accordingly, because it is a shortened semester. So I will be posting the deadlines, the dates, and all of that up on Brightspace, so you will have it. But generally think that, you know, every week, the night before the first class of the week, so this is a Tuesday, Thursday, so all of your stuff is going to be due that Monday before the next class. Okay, so just think Monday is when everything is due each week. Yeah, so look at the syllabus. The dates, I don't really have any dates on the syllabus, but I have them set up by modules. But I just told you that things are going to be due the Monday before the next class. So make sure you have all your readings done, all of your assignments, and your quizzes when they're due. And I will be posting the assignments and the due dates as well. And make sure you have your textbook because you're going to need it. And so yeah, so next class, come to class. We're going to be diving into operating systems and hardware, and I am excited to see you in class, and that will be this Thursday. I think that's my last slide. Yeah, it is. All right, so make sure you read Module 1 in the textbook, and then complete the assignment. The due date is up on Brightspace, and that assignment is open as well. All right, so that's the end of this, and thanks for bearing with me. Sorry I got stranded in Boston, but they got 2 feet of snow. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So I will see you all in class on Thursday, and as always, email me if you have any questions. And we do have a wonderful TA for this class, Off Main. He's a master's student, cybersecurity. So he's going to be with us in class and also have some office hours. So we've got a nice team this semester, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you. All right, I'll see you on Thursday.